All right. We are live. It is episode 83 of Tell It Right podcast. I am Mike. That is Jared. And we are here today, everybody. Welcome. Hey, before we get started, if you're watching the YouTube behind me, you can see some t-shirts. And those are our new fucking t-shirts that are available on our website right now at www.tellitRightPodcast.com. We got the famous Don't Step on My Chode. And yeah, sure. So be sure to go check that out. Get that shit. It's fucking hot. I think it's on sale right now because we use Redbubble. So I think you get that shit pretty cheap right now, people. So fucking jump on it. Jared, we're fucking here.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. We're fucking here, though.
Do it. Cardicola. Do it.
Do it. How you doing? What do you got in that bottle right there?
I escaped that video game I was stuck in, so that's good.
What happened to Jeff Bridges, though?
I mean,
is he still there?
But
Fuck.
He's still there.
Fuck.
You know, when it comes to the grid, it's one for all and all for one.
The whole point was to get him out, dude. I mean, we raised all those funds so you could get him out. And he's still fucking there. Oh, wow, I got...
just partied.
Yeah, at the bar with the weird pale people.
Yeah.
I feel like that part of Tron, like when they're all partying, like I felt like years before that I had like a weird dream similar to that, like, and it like freaked me out, and I just like associated it with like French people, like that's like how like the French like underworld is, like they're all like fucking painted in that like old 1800s makeup, but then they're like wearing like leather and tight ass shit and like
techno music and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like flashing lights and fog.
Possibly could be, you know.
Or maybe I manifested Tron Legacy. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. You got Jeff Bridges stuck in that game again.
I know. Son of a bitch, dude. But yeah, how you doing, Jared? Tell us how you feel.
Doing a lot better now that it's the weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
Doing a crap load of printing. So, got a bunch of projects coming out. So,
you know, this is a good opportunity. Let's highlight on some of it. So, if you're a first-time listener, just understand that Jared is a 3D printer. He can fucking print anything. If you can dream it, he can print it. Actually, if you can put a blueprint together, he can print it. But he's made a lot of costumes over the years. How do we want to call it? The armory is getting bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah. The armory has grown, definitely.
So what do we got on the docket here for 2024-25?
So I've started on 2, but my plan is to have 5 done by August of next year.
Okay.
Depending. So here's the thing. A lot of this is dependent on, how would I put it? Me getting into shape.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you are trying to look like a superhero or somebody, you know, that V figure of a small waist and a wide shoulders is usually helpful. I'm kind of more of like a barrel. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like a whiskey barrel. I'm just wild.
I mean, looking at the screen right now, I'm like a pumpkin face at the moment. So I know how you feel.
The face doesn't matter as much. It's just, you know, when you're a 50-inch chest and your stomach is like 46 or 43 inches, you know, at the longest point, there's not much variation between them, and it doesn't make the costume. So costume, there's a variance of it. But the main ones I'm going to be working on, so I'm making a Predator. So from the movie Predator. And I've already got a few things for it. I even got the laser for it already. Ooh. Like the actual, like the 3-dot laser.
Yeah.
I special ordered it from some dude in Britain for like $30, and he sent me. It's like 3 lasers attached to a battery, and so I got that going.
You had to wire it to some South African account.
Yeah, some guy.
Some prince.
It was on Etsy. I love Etsy. There's so much cool stuff on Etsy.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna make this will be a simple one. I'm gonna do a Colonial Marine from Aliens because I just like that movie. So I'm gonna do a Marine costume like a Hicks or Hudson, like with the, and that'll kind of coincide with the Predator because that's.
And you're gonna make
something new.
The gyroscopic, whatever.
No, I've already got a pulse rifle. I'm just gonna do a pulse rifle.
Gotcha.
But I learned something new, which was that there's I think it's TAS universe, which stands for Terminator Aliens. Oh no, TAP, Terminator Aliens Predator.
Oh, the TAP, right? Yeah, you were saying that before. Yeah.
So I didn't know that was even a thing, but that genre of movies kind of coincide. So people that like Terminator and Aliens and Predator. So I'm going to do a Colonial Marine just to kind of be in that vibe, because I'm most of what I'm making is actually going to be for my brother too. Because he's just the best model for my costume. The man's got some type of autism, I swear, because he's so committed to his character, it's kind of weird. But
it's got people. We go to Fan Expo with his brother every year. We lose him. Mm-hmm. We worry sometimes that he gets taken to a hotel room and gets fucking raped and shit and
stuck in an orgy.
Yeah,
for him though.
Right, but it's what's crazy is he falls right into this. The first time we went, dude, it wasn't even 5 minutes, dude. We had just got past security, which I mean, not like security's crazy, but we just got past security. We're in the main vestibule voyeur room, whatever you want to call it, in or foyer, not voyeur. But yeah, all of a sudden, hey, can I get a picture? And it I loved it because he was just kind of what? Yeah.
No idea. Yeah.
And then from there on, it just was all right, this is how the rest of the day goes. Someone asks you for a picture, you just say yes.
Yeah. The funny part about it is too, I've been asked oh, well, why don't you want to wear this costume, or why don't you, want to get that attention? And it almost gives me a better feeling to watch somebody wearing my costume get a lot of attention. You know what I mean? It's super cool. Me getting attention in a costume is cool, but it's you don't experience because it's happening so fast. You're in this capsule, if you will. Every time that we've gone, you've been basically my fucking guide the whole time.
The nerd herder.
Yeah, the nerd herder.
I heard the nerds.
People to come. I can't hear shit. It's like talking in a tunnel, which I've actually got a few things up my sleeve for next year for hearing and speaking.
Yeah.
So, so those two, and then I'm working on a kind of a closely related. There's two of the same costume essentially, which I'm gonna do, which has become very popular, is Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
I'm doing 2 Space Marines from that, and one of them's gonna be the blue guy that everybody sees. His name's Titus and whatnot. And then I'm gonna make a secondary one, which is this guy that's I can't even explain what it is. Basically, he's still a Space Marine, but he's there's a religion to the lore of this.
Yeah.
And there's it gets really kind of it gets pretty crazy.
It gets pretty committed. Yes.
Yeah. So this guy's going to be more of one of the clergy people, but he's got a skull helmet, but he's going to carry a giant hammer, and
he's like a witch doctor with armor.
Yeah, but he's going to have a cowl, which I actually have to talk to you about. I need a cowl made. But it's going to be just those 2 guys, and then again, depending on size that I get down to, I'd like to do some type of Iron Man, which I've been looking at the War Machine Punisher version. Yeah. Which is just War Machine, but it's painted up with...
yeah.
So, hopefully this works out. If I get 4 of them, if I get 3 of them done, if I get the Predator and the 2 Warhammers done, I think I'll be happy. The Alien or the Colonial Marine, I'm not like super excited about, but it's just something kind of a filler.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to actually next year, if possible, get a booth.
Yeah.
For cosplay, because I think that would be tight as fuck. But we'll see. I'm trying to expand outside of Star Wars so that I can have some range, so people take me seriously. That I'm not just. And video games are a great way because people relate to them. There's a big following behind that.
And people, that's why we need you to share this podcast, because we need you to get this out there. So it is worthwhile for Jared to get that booth, and then you people will be like, dude, I fucking listened to you. I fucking listened to you, bro. I knew about all this shit. I was with you when you were talking about it. Yeah. That's what we want. We want that kind of community, my friends.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun.
It's good shit.
It's going to be a lot of work, but I'll probably have to recruit your help for some sanding days.
Sanding days and some borderline pornos. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, in the garage, just getting high fumes and shit.
There was another one I found, and I watched it. It was like Star Crash or something. It's just like another chick, that's like the main protagonist, and it's just a space thing, and it's just awful acting. It's fucking awesome. it was, but no, I mean, like, this one wasn't borderline porno, like Galaxina. It was just because, like, everything was so, like, shiny and, like, like had that, like, glare to everything with the camera. Well,
but the tension in every scene.
That too, yeah.
Like the terrible acting.
Yeah.
And then the mannerisms and the tension of, like, the things that they were saying.
Yeah.
And this and that. It, like, the whole time you're like, where's the chase and how do I cut to it?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get, like, most of the time I'm fast forwarding on the
Let me pull up the cliff notes to Galaxina. All right, fast forward. No, there was actually absolutely no boob in that entire movie.
Yeah, not one.
No.
That was the most disappointing thing. Even just one.
I really, the most you saw was the one dude's chest. That was it.
Yeah.
It's the closest you were getting. But
I don't know. It was upsetting.
It was. But on another note, it's fucking Oktoberfest, Jared.
Yeah.
I am so intrigued by Oktoberfest, let me tell you. I never knew it was a 16-day celebration. 16 fucking days.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
16 days for anything is a long time.
Right. Yeah. It's not like life shuts down and everyone's getting, like, fucked up 24/7, but, like, no, it is a 16-day celebration, and, like, people from all around the world go out to Munich, Germany to fucking celebrate it. Now, I will say anywhere else in the world, it's like a weekend celebration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not 16 days. But in Munich, Germany, like, it is. And, the history on it dates back to, like, I think 1810. I don't remember the people that got married, but it was back in the day when it was Bavaria, before it was actually Germany. And so Bavaria was growing and becoming, gaining more landmass, kind of every day. And so this prince and princess of two different families got married, and so they wanted to bring their people together. And so they threw this 5-day celebration. And it was like October 16th and to whatever. And they did, like, horse racing. They had all kinds of food and then, like, drinks and stuff, like beer and stuff like that. And really the whole celebration was to celebrate this newly king and queen, or prince and princess, whatever, of Bavaria. And so, like, then the next year, some greedy business people got together and they're like, we can fucking capitalize off this if we get with all the local breweries here. Because they did have all the money, because everybody would go to the breweries and spend all their money on the beer and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, from then on, from like 1811 until now, every year they have had fucking Oktoberfest, besides COVID. they shut it down during COVID for like 2 years, and then they brought it back. But so here's the crazy part about this, dude. Okay. So they have all these tents that you come to, and these tents aren't just like fucking tents that you get from the catering company in town. Mm-hmm. These things are massive mega structures. Like, the Germans don't fuck around. Like, they are great craftsmen because they build these like people, if you've ever seen like modern warehouses and like modern warehouse complexes in industrial areas. Yeah. These are just as big. And they're temporary. They're not even fucking year-round structures. So these things get put up in June. That's when they start construction, and then it finishes sometime before the end of September. And so basically,
sounds like some World's Fair shit.
Yeah, right? But like, yeah, dude, they build these from scratch every year. Now, they do reuse the pieces. They have warehouses that they store all this shit at. But then they basically, like, dude, we're talking millions of fucking dollars just for a 16-day celebration. So you got to ask yourself, how much fucking money is being made if they're doing that? Like, cause you got to, like, honestly, like, you wouldn't do that if, like, you wouldn't lose millions of dollars every year to build mega fucking tents. Like, if they didn't make any fucking money, they would have little goddamn tents like every fucking town event I've ever gone to, you know?
Yeah, but I'm sure that, I mean, if this is how would I put it? If this is a national event, I mean, they're probably paying taxes. And
I don't know if it's it's not a national event. It's a Munich event, but it's like something that like has spread across the country or across the world.
But I'm sure people, like, even the tourism aspect of it, they're probably making gobs of money.
Yes. Yeah, because people from all the world, it's the biggest festival in the world.
16 days.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but it's not like the Chinese New Year where they stop working and shit, right?
No. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's like you said, it's like the World's Fair, so it's open to the public, you know, people are going to take days off for it, you know, but it's not a holiday necessarily.
I mean, it should be if it's that big of an event.
Yeah, you know, I mean
you can't give people 2 weeks off in a non-communist country.
Yeah, right. No, maybe there is some, like, maybe in Munich there's some, you know, things where it's like we don't work during this period, or we only work, maybe we don't work on the opening of it or something like that, or weekends are off. Maybe they work 7 days a week and weekends are off. I don't know. Well, probably not, because it's fucking Germany, and they probably only work 35 hours a week, and they still fucking produce as much as, like, the United States can. And it's funny how that works. Yeah.
But when you have happy people working for you, they can
they can do a lot. Yeah, they can do a lot. Yeah. That's a little fucking tip for all you fucking bosses out there.
Yeah.
Fucking cocksuckers. I didn't say that. Anyways, so I got some TikToks here of like Oktoberfest in general, because it's like really crazy, dude. Like, people are, it's insane what goes on with this.
Let's see this.
All right, so this is like, it just opened. All right, so this is the outside. These people are like fucking running in, like, look at them. Look at how they're running too. Like, Germans run different than regular people. Those are probably all Americans, by the way. But
Germans run differently.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next shirt. Germans run differently. Look at them, like they're like feet are like in front of them, and then like their arms are like flailing out.
Maybe they're already drunk.
They very well be. This is like 9 a.m. in the morning too. Yeah, so you see how crazy that is, right?
Yeah.
So if we go now, we're going to go into the tent, all right? The tents have just opened. Now look at these fuckers. They're pouring into the tent, and they're just running on top of tables. Like, I think we're going to see people just lay on them. Yeah, look at this. They're laying on them.
To save their seat.
They're claiming territory. Like, it's a dog-eat-dog world, dude. Like, this table's falling over in the front here. Like I'm surprised people have to get hurt, like, bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they, but in America, though, what's that?
You get drunk enough to forget, so.
In America, though, this would never fucking happen, because that's what OSHA would be like, nope, that's fucking broken ankles right there. All right, so what we just saw there was a smaller tent that looks like it's a single level tent. So these fucking things get to double levels, dude. It's a tent, and it has a double level on it. That's what I like can't fathom here. Like, it's, even though I'm looking right at it. So here's I think this is the off-brow tent. This is where a lot of Americans you'll find. So obviously they're singing American songs. But look at it, man. You got that upper level. You got this, like, main stage in the center. And then it's just, like, all these people.
This is a temporary tent?
This is a temporary tent. This gets taken down.
How do you get the second level on that?
I mean, I can see how you get the second level. You don't need a wall. It's gotta be like
scaffolding, though.
Kind of, yeah. I'm sure there's posts below it and all that. And it's just basically they're building, like, a frame of everything. And yeah, the cloth just encloses it. I mean, like, you can see it's open, too. Like,
yeah. But I mean, there's, like, what do you call it? I mean, in between, there's like, I'm not good with the architecture standpoint.
Yeah.
Not a trellis.
Wait,
that holds up the roof.
Oh, the truss. Yeah, they got roof trusses.
Yeah, they got, like, trusses. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, like, you could make this into a permanent structure and, like, put a roof on top of it, but all they have to do is just put cloth or some kind of fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the shore tent now that we're looking at. And so, again, they got a second level. And, like, you see how many people in there. Like, so that's the thing. Like, these tents can hold up to, like, so the average is about 6,000 people. That off-brow house, or tent, that we were just looking at before, that one's supposed to be the biggest, and they can hold up to 11,000 fucking people. That's
how is that
insane.
Fun? Like, how is that fun at all? Like, with that many people, and, like, look at how packed you are.
I know, but I think there's, like, an experience. Like, this is like a Mecca thing. Like, you got to do it once, you know? Like, I kind of want...
have, like, are they serving beer efficiently?
Okay, you know here's the next one. Oh, you want to see that? Oh, yeah, here we go. You want to see efficient beer? Look at this chick. Like, I don't know how many beers that is. That's a lot of beer, though. And, like, that's not a regular beer mug. That's like 4 beers.
It looks like 15 beers right there.
Yeah, but, like, each mug has about 4 American-sized beers.
Okay, no, that's probably like 12, 13 beers.
Yeah.
There's 6 and 6.
She just carried all of those. I don't think I could do that.
No, here, let's watch. I mean, I could do it, but I'd be, like, out of breath, and it wouldn't be fun.
Let's watch this chick
here. Stable. It wouldn't be stable.
I thought I had a... Oh, no, that's not a good one. Hold on. I should have another one here.
I mean, that's probably like, what, a 48-ounce beer?
I forget. It's a liter. It's a liter of cola.
A liter cola?
Can I get a liter of cola? It's a liter. I thought I had a better one where the camera follows the chick. So, like, she's, like, holding this and then dropping it off. this one's
So
just like
a liter would be 33.8 ounces. So that would be like 3 beers. A little under 3 beers.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Like, here, I'll pull this one up here again. So those are fucking huge. Those beer glasses. That guy's creepy as shit.
I mean, the problem is, like, you have to pound that, otherwise your beer is going to be warm as fuck. And nobody wants to drink warm beer. You know what I mean?
I think they do pound them, dude. They get fucked up. So here's what happens when you get too fucked up at Oktoberfest in Munich. So you find yourself on this hill. You're either puking, you're passed out, or you're just chilling.
The vomit hill.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's more to Oktoberfest. The girls do this weird shit.
Yeah.
So right
now,
yeah, it's called the Devil's Wheel. So all these chicks are running onto like this weird like wheel thing on the floor, and it's gonna spin around, and they're supposed to try to stay on it, but inertia's gonna fucking throw them off eventually. And I guess
the closer you are to the center, the less inertia you have.
Right. The more center of balance you have, or whatever you want to call it.
That centrifugal force is not real. And when I say that, I'm not. But think of it this way. So, because my dad's an engineer and he taught me this.
Oh, yeah.
Centrifugal force isn't a real force. It's just you're being pulled back or you're being held back by something, right? It's really just a linear force, because if you weren't being held back by some type of like gravity or something like that, or something containing it, you would just fly off in that direction. You're just being flung. All it is the force of being flung, but being contained.
Yeah.
So they call it centrifugal force, but all it is just an outward propulsion.
Huh. You learn something every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the whole point is, if you're still on the wheel, you're a chick that should go home with a guy or something like that and make a baby. I don't know. It's something
reminds me
that.
of what's that movie? That stupid movie that Zack Snyder did. Rebel Moon.
Wait, this wheel reminds you of just Rebel Moon in general?
Have you seen Rebel Moon?
I mean, yeah, but I don't remember.
They have like some big festival at the very beginning of it, and everybody.
I kind of remember that.
Everybody better bang tonight.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, that's also kind of like Fallout too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was weird too.
That was weird. Like, oh, this is a good candidate to have a baby with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude, Oktoberfest. So I guess it ends on October 3rd usually, or the first Sunday in October. Yeah, so there's still another week if you want to celebrate it. Hopefully you got a passport, get yourself to Munich. Otherwise, just get fucking drunk here in the States. I don't know, there's a European person out there that fucking listens to us, so I don't know, why don't you go on www.tellitrightpodcast.com and tell us how you celebrate Oktoberfest. But
yeah.
So
tell us if it's really all about the hype, or if it's actually like cool.
I just want to go. I want to go.
I can see where it's an experience, but at the same time, like, it just looks like a fucking hassle. Like, look at that. Look at these fucking things.
I probably would get claustrophobic, especially if weed's legal out there. Holy fuck, yeah! If I smoked, I'd be like, oh, I gotta get out of here. We gotta go to a smaller tent, guys.
Yeah, just being around people sucks. Like, nobody's fun.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the Germans are actually. It kind of sounds like they're a lot funner than us. Just like we got like sticks up our asses. They're They're just okay. Yeah. They're just okay. They're gonna be okay. So, but yeah, that's Oktoberfest, people. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's fucking do it.
Man,
here it is, guys. 2024.
The official.
2024 gave us a lot of movies this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Beetlejuice that just came out, what was it, last week or the week before?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago,
yeah. So Jared and I had the opportunity to watch it. We both have kind of two different views on it. I mean, we haven't really discussed it deeply, but we've kind of given a little opinion to it. I agree, and I'm going to probably agree in a lot of parts, but I do think there's a purpose for this. So there's that. But let's get into it. Let's get into the brass tacks of Beetlejuice by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton, Wynona Ryder, Jenna Ortega, Katherine Ohara, and nobody else. Nobody else. So
nobody worth talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before we get into opinion, get into opinion. How about you? Yeah.
You go first. I want to hear.
You want me to go first?
Mine's gonna be a lot more pessimistic, so I want to hear.
Well, that's why I wanted you to go first, so I could kind of lighten the mood afterwards.
All right. So here it is. We've discussed this before with many Rick and Mortys.
Yeah.
Where Dan Harmon always says that character development can ruin a character.
Now, real quick, before we go a little further on that, I do want to clarify that he was directly talking about Rick and Morty. So, I mean, just everybody know, character development can be very harmful. And I'm going to go with this. I think it kind of was for this movie. But overall, you really don't have a story without character development. You need it to a certain degree. But yeah, with sequels, it can get tough. So don't always think that just because there's a sequel, there's character development, that it's going to be bad. But there is a time and place where character development is not needed and whatnot. But let's. So sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, it's good to add in there. So, and then before we continue on, there's spoilers because I'm going to talk about everything I.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
So if you haven't seen it, flash that on the screen. Okay.
Spoilers.
So, I don't want to say it was a money grab, but I thought that the writing was really, really poor. It's felt really mishmashy, like they'd be in one story and then move to another at a part that they thought that they could pause that story in. And the fact that there was like 4 different storylines going on at the same time really just bugged me. Because there's too many conflicts where you had to make peace with this or this and that. And how are you going to move through the story to make peace with that conflict? And you couldn't develop each story long enough because the movie's only a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should have narrowed that down to like two points of conflict within the whole movie. But I mean, here's what you had from the beginning. You've got Lydia and her boyfriend guy and her show. You've got
that guy.
You got the dad dying. That
Rory was his name. Yeah.
Yeah. You got the dad dying, so the mom's back in the picture, or the stepmom's back in the picture, and so you have that whole part of the story developing along the way. Like, that's what brings them all together, which is fine.
Yeah.
Then you've got then the daughter comes in, and she's, part of, like, her conflict against the mom. And then she has a secondary story in there where she, gets in trouble with a ghost guy. And then to top it all off, you've got them giving a backstory to where Beetlejuice came from. And that just felt like they just took a shit on that whole storyline. It was the first thing you see
It was wrong.
Of him. Yeah. But it's like the first thing you see of him, and then it doesn't really pan out at all. Like it's just kind of a antagonist throughout, but there wasn't really any development other than it was like a bad ghost person. You know what I mean? So none of the stories, like honestly, if they had 2 storylines going on, I think a good one would have been the whole mother-daughter dynamic, trying to, rekindle that, and the ghost that takes her daughter down to the underworld, right? And then bring in Beetlejuice because you need him to help you down there.
Right.
Having his whole thing going on. The one thing I really did like the 2 parts that I liked. One, I liked that he kept on popping up in her imagination. Like she'd see something. I really liked that thing. I really liked that kid was a ghost that killed his parents. Like I never even knew that. I thought that was kind of there was those tall signs where the parents weren't looking and shit, and you just kind of overlook it because you're thinking about the rest. I think that would have been a great thing to kind of make this whole thing about, right?
Right.
And then my actual really favorite part was when that idiot boyfriend guy said Beetlejuice's name and they got sucked into the therapist office.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I will say the one last thing that did kind of bother me about it. In the first movie, and I know this is comparing, and I know Michael Keaton's much older now, but Beetlejuice was quick and like on the spot and like popping back, like quipping off stuff and like being funny and this and that. In this, he just felt old and slow. Like he's making jokes, but the jokes just took forever to kind of pan out. And that stupid musical at the end of the movie, that was like 18 minutes way too long. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this was a filler to make the movie longer because you couldn't write a good story. And you had 4 of them to do. So, there's mine. I'll stop there.
Okay. No, I don't think that was actually entirely negative. I think that's kind of where I was going with a lot of things. I think there was some potential in there. I don't think, like, it should have been something that we shouldn't have done. I think it's kind of cool to bring back some of these stories. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It was kind of overdone. And that's kind of the consensus with a lot of other people too. There's too many subplots. So yeah, like you said, you're kind of jumping over a bunch of different stories. I mean, Katherine O'Hara had her own fucking journey she was going on. And then Lydia had her own journey, and then so did Astria, But then somehow they all collide, but really, like, the only 2 that really collide back with each other is Lydia and Astria's storylines here, because obviously what happens to Katherine O'Hara later on in the movie and all that, like her dumb. Journey, like, right? Her journey
to be there.
Well, my issue with it is like, all right, this should have been done. This needed to be done, but this should have been done in the later 90s. This shouldn't have dragged out 30 fucking years. Or it should have happened in like the turn of the century at 2000 or something like that. Because you really needed Alec. I really think you still needed the 2, Alec and Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. But the problem with today here is we know why fucking Alec Baldwin wasn't in this, because he's got his own fucking safety issues that nobody wants to fucking deal with right now. I think Jeffrey Jones is still alive, right? I'm pretty sure he's still alive. I think
who the fuck's Jeffrey Jones?
He's the guy that played the dad in Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, he's alive. I think he might be in jail.
Yeah, he's a pedophile, so he's not coming back. And then I don't know what Gina Davis's deal, but it doesn't make sense to have her fucking come back if you're not going to bring.
Well, they're
fucking
so
Alec
old,
Baldwin
like you
back.
can't. The problem is you can't take them and they're old now, and then make them into ghosts that shouldn't be aging more than what
Exactly, I agree with you.
You're going to show me an old ghost, like
the only reason why this works is because I agree. Yeah, the actual character of Beetlejuice was kind of a little slower and whatnot, but how he looked is not really that much different than 1980. Honestly, maybe they gave him
the look. I mean, the look was fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the speed of the delivery
and that's why that worked, because that's why we were like, we're going to do this, because it makes sense, because we can make Michael look like he did in 1980. It doesn't really fucking matter, because we're going to put so much fucking makeup on him. And then Wynona's now in her 50s, so we can make her look like, or late 40s, whatever. We can make her, look like a mother. But I want to tell you what, you compare her from this to Stranger Things, she is way hotter in fucking Beetlejuice. For sure.
She's really hot. Like, have you seen the movie Mr. Deeds?
Yeah.
With Adam
she's
Sandler.
Pretty decent there.
Yeah.
Well, that's her younger years. But, like, I'm talking about right now. I mean, if you compare...
Mr. Deeds was, like, not that long ago.
Yeah, it was. It was over 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
but a lot happens in 4 years, man. I just saw Facebook. I saw Facebook today. A guy 4 years ago was like 500 pounds. Now he's like fucking $180. Fucking bench pressing fucking chicks, right?
Yeah, Mr. D's was 2002, so that was that's like almost 20
years
ago.
Dude, she was a child.
She could have been perfect right then.
She was in her 20s,
30s,
20s, 30s. Yeah.
She's 52.
But like, yeah.
So yeah, she was 30 years old. Bam.
Yeah, but like, no, I'm saying if you compare Beetlejuice to fucking Stranger Things, like, they really made her look like, in Stranger Things, really like...
Old, yeah.
Fucking old
Older
mom,
than your age, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else here? Yes, so you hit it on the hammer at the end of the movie with the stupid fucking musical. Because here's what I'm going to say. That whole movie, I felt Tim Burton was holding very true. So this is why I was trying to come on a more positive note on this, because I felt that Tim Burton held very true to a lot of his effects. Even in the beginning. Like, I loved...
Well, they said that they did a lot of practical effects, they called them.
Yeah,
like real. They wouldn't do a lot of CGI or anything.
Well, right,
somebody commented on that, like, yeah.
Well, like the beginning, okay, where the beginning he does this. He's done this in all of his movies, like Edward Scissorhands, and then the other Beetlejuice too, and whatnot. But they build a model city, and then they take the camera and they pan through it. But the way they pan through it, the speed that they go at it. It tricks you, man. It's pretty good. And like I'm sensitive to that nowadays. So when I was sitting there, I was at first thinking it was like a CGI type thing, but then I started I'm like, "Oh no, these are models." Cuz then the camera kind of slows up and stuff, but I mean I still felt like he held true to his art style, his his background effects and stuff. And
it's just just real quick. You know what it felt like? It felt like this was written by AI. And that's why the stories didn't have they put into a chat GTP or whatever, GPT, and they were like, Beetlejuice, back to life, blah blah blah, and because there's no cohesion. It was just those 4 stories. Oh, and okay, on top of that, Willem Dafoe, that whole little side thing. There was just so much they could have done with this that would have made it so much better.
Okay, I guess I can't explain how I feel about this. Like those parts, I guess when I compare it to Beetlejuice, remember there was Juno, right? That old lady with that raspy voice, and and obviously they pull it the world of the dead is just another bureaucracy you got to fucking deal with, Yeah. So that was cool, right? But this one, it just it seemed like more goofball than anything, right? Not that Beetlejuice isn't a goofball movie, but like Beetlejuice, the original one there like I feel like the goofball shit was to a minimum.
Well,
it was campy. That's what it is, campy. It was like this was more like campy, where it like so campy is like that over exaggerated seriousness. You know, like
so
like
he
all right,
he made it like a horror movie. I'll explain why.
Yeah.
So in a horror movie, you have serious points and points of tension building, right?
Right.
And then you come in and you have comedy to break the tension, and then you build it back again. And then you break it. Like at the very end of Beetlejuice, where, Orzo, whatever his name is, he's like bringing them back to life and they're dying and they're like, stop it, this and that. And then Beetlejuice comes out and he's like, just breaks that tension because you're laughing because he's doing weird shit. And
right.
That type of thing so that's how they actually write horror movies. So that's why if you ever notice, there'll be like a comedic, person in there somewhere, like the pothead guy. Oh, he's gonna break, he's gonna go do this and say something funny, and it breaks the tension. And so Tim Burton's movies have always been very, very weird. But Beetlejuice was written like a scary movie, but just not going the full on like scary.
Right. And I agree with that.
Just
for the first one,
weird. Yeah.
But this second one didn't seem like that. It seemed more of like just a regular comedy. Yes.
There's no
comedy that had a gothic theme to it. I don't know.
If you could even say that. Like, it wasn't even...
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, like, I don't know. It just was like... maybe it's because we expected it. Maybe because we've already been through Beetlejuice, so we know what kind of like what's going to happen. We know like some kind of issue is going to happen that's going to require to bring back Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think, but the weird part is like,
yeah,
I know we're more apt to being harsh on movies because we look for certain things and we.
Right.
For somewhat, I can say we studied filmography stuff. You know what I mean? Like like I probably know more about writing and stuff than the average normal person. And how they develop storylines and this and that. You probably further than I do, but at the same time, a normal person goes in there with the entertainment factor in their mind and not nitpicking the little bullshit.
Right. Yeah, they don't analyze it.
My daughter loved the movie. She thought it was funny. She liked it. Laura thought it was a good movie. I mean, I can't say it was a terrible movie. It just, there was a lot of mess to it.
Yeah. No,
the other thing that...
Yeah, no, sorry, go on.
The one thing that I really hate nowadays, too, everything's filmed in really good, clear, like 4 or 8K, and it kind of takes away from the whole feel of a movie anymore. I don't know if you feel the same way. It just doesn't feel like a movie when you're watching it.
Well, here's what I'll say. So remember when Beetlejuice spun his head around in this last movie?
Mm-hmm.
That right there was kind of like something that clicked with me, where it was like, that wasn't so cool, because it was not like the 1980s where it was so like chopped up and like
cartoony.
Yeah, right. It looked real, and I wasn't impressed by it. You know what I mean? And so like that's what kind of sucks with this new technology. Yeah, no, because I'm like totally somebody that would love to write a movie, but film it with the equipment that was available in like 1980. But like I feel like you can't do that because there's just too much other equipment that's going to process it and make it. Well, you actually have to put in a filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean a lot of the problem is because they can film digital and all this and that. It's probably cheaper to process a movie that way than it would be to put it on tape and all this and that. So,
God,
the cost.
I don't know how they cut shit back in the day, dude. Like, they literally had to, like, cut it. And then, like, they had these huge machines, and then I just was like, dude, I can do that all on a laptop. Like, I don't need to be called a fucking sound engineer or anything to do it. Like, it's just so simple, you know? I mean, like, once you look at it and you see, like, what needs to be done and you understand some basic tools, like, it's not hard. You know, like, when I edit these, I look for gaps in our audio. That's, like, the first thing I do. If I see gaps in the audio, I cut that. And, like, I don't even need to actually listen to it necessarily. I just got to cut it. And sometimes I'll listen to it after I cut it. And then, like, sometimes it's weird where it's like, oh, no, we need that fucking space there, dude. Yeah. But, like, but for the most part, like, you can just see your fucking gaps and you can cut them. Because there's a tool that's literally a fucking razor blade is the icon. So what does that mean? It means cut. You know? So, you just click 2 spots, and now you got something you can delete. And then you literally just got to, like, right-click, and all of a sudden everything fucking just jumps back, and now everything's lined up again. And there's no gap anymore. So it's, like, really easy. Like, that's why, like, so many people can make online content right now. Like, dude, average people can make movies. I mean, like, they can make them better than, like, a fucking high school, you know, project or something like that. Yeah. The tools are so fucking there and available.
I mean, they're on your phone. I mean, your phone.
Yeah, essentially.
The editing capabilities. I mean, you can basically take
It's tedious, though.
Tedious, yeah, but I mean, you could sit there and I mean, most of what's tedious is that it's on a phone. Yeah. You can take that same app and work it on your laptop or on your computer, you know.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. Here's what I did want to say, though. So you had mentioned something about writing in this movie, and you're absolutely right there. They made a big fucking mistake. So in regular Beetlejuice, they explained that if you commit suicide, you are deemed a public service the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Right? Beetlejuice was Juno's assistant, which means he was in public service. So they didn't really have that story back then, but that was mentioned back then. That was said. Yeah. So technically, this whole movie, there's no continuity with Beetlejuice. It's technically a different universe now, because
he was doing public service though. He was like running a business or whatever.
Well, right,
or whatever he was doing.
But he didn't commit suicide. He was murdered. They showed that. Like, you know what I mean? That chick gave him the poison, and he died.
He took it. You know what I mean? He's the one who...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be like that,
where do you draw the line? I mean, you didn't know, but you're the one who committed it.
No, where you draw the line is some bitch, knowing that what she was giving him was poison, gave it to him. He thought they were having fucking champagne. He had no idea, and so he drank it, and then he died.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. I don't...
There has to be lack of knowledge for it to... Because if like I hand a gun to somebody and they shoot themselves, they knew that would happen.
Oh my fucking God, dude. Bro.
All I'm saying...
Bro.
All I'm saying...
That doesn't even fucking compare.
If you hand them a glass of poisoned wine and they drink it, it's the same thing as... Because I didn't put it in their mouth.
If you hand them a glass of poison wine and go, hey, this is poison wine, and they fucking drink it, yeah, that's suicide. But if you're not setting an expectation on what you're given, and people are assuming that it's just fucking, you know, whatever, like alcohol or some kind of drink that doesn't kill you, I mean, that's pretty much murder. So that's all I'm saying is, they really fucked the pooch on that one. They didn't really hold true to that. So I guess what it comes down to is I've come up with a new rating system. We are A, B, C, and F fucking rating system. So obviously A is awesome. We love it. We would see it a million times and definitely recommend it to everybody. I would say B is, it's an alright movie. It's not the best. You're probably not going to watch it a whole lot ever again.
It's entertaining. It's an entertaining movie.
It's an entertaining movie. C is just God, I would say C is like, all right, I watched it, you get the fuck away from me sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And F is, I regret my life. So I don't know if that's really realistic.
Okay.
Maybe it should just be ABF. We're going to get rid of C.
It should just be, no C. It's just either it was mediocre, whatever, it was good, go see it, or this is a flop. F.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think there should be the B in there, though.
The B. B is the middle ground. It's okay. Which that's probably where I would put this movie.
Right. Yeah, and
B.
I'm gonna go B too. Yeah, it's mediocre.
Go see it.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to see it because you're gonna have to experience for yourself. But it's not something that I'm gonna watch regularly. The first Beetlejuice, I'll watch that all the time.
Right. Yeah. I'd probably watch regular Beetlejuice every Halloween. Sort of deal.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. I don't know. Maybe I go jump into Beetlejuice.
When this is out, I'll probably watch it on some type of streaming.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent that it's gonna go. I'm not paying money for it again. That's for sure.
I'm not giving them any more fucking money for this.
Yeah.
So. No, yeah, but yeah. Beetlejuice, Tim Burton, not all that bad, but don't expect to see, something that tops Beetlejuice. I guess that's how I would want to put it.
Also, one side note.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Jenna Ortega. She's pretty hot.
Isn't she fucking 16?
She's 22.
Bro? Oh, okay. All right, you're safe.
Yeah,
safe.
No, I'm not a fucking.
I'm not
the dad.
I won't have to call the pedo squad out. Oh yeah, her relationship with that fucking stepdad. That stepdad, that guy shouldn't have been in there. It should have just been Wynona, a fucking single mom raising a chick that hates her. So
yeah, that dude was with all the fish on him. That was just dumb. It was trying to be comedic too, and that's okay. One last thing, I know we're going over, but here.
No, we're good.
The lack of emotion towards the entire situation. So, what I mean by that is, in the first movie, when the two died and they were realizing everything and they were like, this is insane, we didn't know there's an afterlife, Alec Baldwin and
right
in the first
yeah,
and even going into the you got to knock on this door and this, and then going to the services counter, everything was very surprising to them, and new and scary, and hey, how are we gonna get through that? When it came to this movie, everybody just seemed nonchalant about the afterlife or death. Oh, you died. The stepmom died. Oh, you died. Oh no. What's going to happen? That sucks. Oh, I'm going to just move on with my life. What? Zero, the dad dies and you're not crying about it. And I mean, I get it. There's they've been through whatever PTSD from the situation. But
really, yeah, no, I'm sorry, go on.
There was just no emotion towards it, and nothing seemed surprising about it, which made it feel less real.
Yeah, and what I want to say is with Katherine Ohara, I think the only reason she kind of was in this is because of what she recently did with Schitt's Creek. You ever see that show?
No, I know of it. I've seen clips and shit.
I've seen a few episodes, and she's the same character. She's the same character as Delia Dietz, essentially. But instead, she's a movie, or like kind of like a washed-up movie star or actress. You know, like she was popular back in like the early 90s, but now in like the later 2000s, she's, you know, kind of hasn't been seen in the public spotlight, and, you know, now she's trying to get back into it because they're poor and all that shit. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like how Delia Dietz is, you know. First one, they come to this old house in the middle of a farm country, and it's not up to her standard, and she's like this woke ass fucking artist and all this, and she has high standards and all this other crap. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like it was just like, oh, Katherine just did Schiff's Creek, and, you know, so her character's kind of still like it's alive, and yeah. You know, but, you know, we didn't even talk about Beetlejuice's wife. Like, the only...
It was just not even worth it.
Right. The only positive thing I can say about that is, it's like, I kind of felt like Tim Burton was taking an old character and making it live action. Like, it felt like a Nightmare Before Christmas character, you know, because there was the chick that had all the stitchings in her face, but it didn't look quite like that. But, like...
Yeah.
Once I kind of saw it, I'm like...
a live-action version.
Yeah, I'm like, this could be a live-action version of that to some degree. You know, obviously it's much different because I think that other chick had, like, different hair. It wasn't brown or dark brown.
Yeah.
And whatnot, so... but, yeah. Right, well, let's end it on that, everybody. Hey, we're fucking glad you guys came out today. I'm ecstatic. I know Jared is too.
Yeah.
But
I can see it in my face.
Yeah. When this releases, it's going to be the last weekend of Oktoberfest, so you better fucking get your drink on and get your wiener schnitzels and your fucking chicken and your big beers and your wieners. Hot dogs are included too, and if you're in the Chicago area, Vienna beef, it's from Austria, you little motherfuckers. Vienna, Austria. But anyways, yeah, again, remember, TellItRightPodcast.com. Go to the merch page. Pick up yourself a fucking chode shirt, because you don't want anybody ever stepping on your fucking chode. And if you just want to be a fucking smart ass, get the sure shirt.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. But everybody, have yourself a great day. And we will be back next week for episode 84. So, peace.
Peace.
Tell It Right Podcast.